Hello everyone, 24th of June. It is Tuesday today. This is our first live session for this week. Obviously, we're going to have another one on Thursday, as we usually do. So let me just send out a couple of links here and there so more people can hopefully join because we do have some really nice opportunities. Okay, there's a lot going on in the market, especially with all that bombing, unfortunately, of course, but that leads to more volatility in the market. And we actually have some pretty decent opportunities, I'm not going to lie. And we're going to have a look at them in just a minute. So, what we normally do during those live sessions is, we look at some of the majors, mainly euro dollar, pound dollar, gold as well. We do also have some setups on um, instruments like dollar yen, for example, Aussie dollar for those of you who are trading that pair, and even more. All of that was shared already in the premium Telegram channel, like 2 hours ago, maybe even more, right around 2 hours ago. For those of you who want to join and take your trading to the next level, make sure to either text me or check out our website trendlineforex.com. Right. So I'm just gonna send a quick message right here in the free Telegram actually. And if you want to join a completely free Telegram channel with very valuable information, this is gonna be in the link. In the description below this stream. Right. This is where, by the way, you get all the messages, all the updates, any promotions, giveaways, whatever we do, it's all shared in the free Telegram channel first. And this is exactly why I'm now sending a message for that live session um, in the free Telegram. We got over 3,000 members, and I do get messages um, on a daily basis from people following our analysis. And by the way, this is where we also share, uh, you know, a daily euro dollar update. That's right in the free Telegram. This is where you can follow our trading ideas, trading setups. And for those of you who have been trading for a while already, I mean, you guys should know that euro dollar is probably the most traded major instrument. Okay, so it is positively correlated with other major instruments that are traded against the US dollar. Okay, and so when you know what's going on with euro dollar and where are the key levels, what is the market direction on that specific pair, basically you know how to trade, for example, pound dollar, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar, maybe even euro pound, maybe even the yen cross pairs like euro yen and pound yen. This is why the analysis on euro dollar is key, just like with the dollar index. And that is exactly why we've chosen to share with you on a daily basis what is the analysis on euro dollar. And you can find that, like I said, in the free Telegram channel. So I'm just gonna give it a couple of minutes. Hopefully more people will join. We're then gonna carry on with price action. Check it out here on euro dollar, on pound dollar. We're gonna have a look at gold as well. And recently I've being kind of skipping euro yen and pound yen. I wasn't even trading those instruments, but I think pretty soon we may have some opportunities. Okay, if we have a look at the higher time frames, the 1 hour, the 4 hour chart, we will see that price is clearly moving bullish. Right now we are in a pullback, but in order for us to find a good entry in a long trade, we need that pullback. So this is why pretty soon we may actually have something to work with. So let me just clean up my charts a little bit. I do like to use neat and tidy charts. I'm going to leave this level right here. And I'm also going to add another level up here. Okay, euro yen. Let's see how it goes. Pound yen also looking kind of okay. Oops. But yes, we're gonna check out some of those majors right here. Right, so I already posted a message on Twitter, on X. I've already sent a message in the free Telegram. So let's give it just a couple more minutes. In the meantime, you guys let me know what pairs do you currently trade, and do you currently have any setups that you want me to have a look at, even if it is not the instruments that we usually look at during those live sessions. Maybe another instrument, I'll have a look at it, as long as it is a forex instrument, right? I mean, I'm not trading indices, I'm not trading crypto, I'm not trading stocks. It's mainly forex instruments. I don't trade oil. Right, how is my sound? Can you hear me well? I'll test it myself. Right, how is my sound? Can you hear? Okay, I think it should be fine, right? And also, for those of you who haven't seen our website, trendlineforex.com, just yesterday I posted another blog article. You can read it right here. You go to useful at trendlineforex.com, down here, blog articles, and you'll see, um, yeah, you'll see quite a lot of them, right? And then obviously, if you are a complete beginner, I think the best way to start is to go through our free beginners course. Right here, you go to services, courses, you click on beginner, and then the first one, free forex training for beginners. You get 38 video lessons, okay, just under 200 minutes of duration on this training. It's completely for free. All you gotta do is to sign up on our website, and you then get full access to this course. You can watch each one of those videos. There are beginner friendly trading strategies, but not only that, before you get to the strategies, we lay out the foundations. All right, you're going to learn everything about forex sessions, when is the best time to trade, what kind of news you have to be aware of, and stuff like that. Everything you need to learn before you actually place your first trade, all of that is included in that free course. Okay, so make sure to check it out if obviously you are a complete beginner. All right, currently trading, let's start off with euro dollar around 1.16. Okay, and I really wanted to see price coming up here, to obviously give us a retest of the previous highs. Overall, we are expecting for the market to continue higher, so that's why our next stop was supposed to be previous highs, where we are currently trading 1.16. Now I'm going to be looking for a continuation of that move. Okay, when it comes to targets, we can look for targets pretty much anywhere based on previous impulses. Okay, so if we are looking at the 4-hour time frame, let's say for example, we're gonna grab the Fibonacci expansion tool, right, to just kind of see where were our targets. Now first, we were supposed to be looking at 1.1430. Okay, that target was smashed. Second target 1.1560. Okay, and we are currently above that as well. Now the next target in this case would be 1.1780. But what I like to do is I like to kind of update my fib expansion tool. So I'm gonna place it right here on this next impulse. So when it comes to targets now, I'm looking at 1.17. Okay, so from current price levels, we've got exactly 100 pips. So that's quite well. I mean, it's a good enough target for us to be able to start looking for buying opportunities. As simple as that. Next target will be 1.1870. Okay, so right within this area is where we're going to be looking for targets. So I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to delete this fib. Okay, if we drop down to the 15-minute time frame and start looking for day trading opportunities, I want to see price forming up a pullback. As soon as I see that, I'm going to be using the Fibonacci retracement tool, and we're going to be looking at either the 38.2 or maybe the 61.8. So if I place another area right here, point of interest, what you guys call it, right? And basically the idea is that we want to see price coming down here first, testing maybe previous structure right about 1.1540 makes a lot of sense by looking at, you know, what we have here on the chart. And so then, so let me grab the maybe this one, right? So first we want to see price coming down here around 1.1540. We want to see a nice reversal, and then I'll be expecting for price to reach for 1.17 right here. Okay, so this is gonna give us a pretty decent opportunity, and not only that, but a really good risk to reward ratio, because we're gonna be looking at around 150 pips to the upside, and we can easily use a stop loss of, let's say, 40 pips, for example, right? Maybe even a lower stop loss. We'll see how it goes and what kind of reaction we have here. If we have a really nice strong rejection, we can place our stop loss just below that rejection. So we're talking about a risk to reward ratio of maybe more than 1 to 3, right? A very good risk to reward ratio. If you are taking trades like this, you don't really need to win much. All right, I mean, you can significantly reduce your win rate because you have a really good and positive risk to reward ratio in this case. So euro dollar is definitely a potential instrument on my watch list, and I'm going to be looking for you know, a similar entry, exactly what we explained. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get a pullback all the way down here. But ideally, this is what we want to see. All right. Now, if I don't get a pullback, will I enter a trade? I don't think so. I need to see what kind of reaction we have. I mean, if we have a really strong signal candle, okay, then I can potentially jump in on that trade, even if I don't get the pullback I'm looking for. Then moving on to pound dollar. Now, obviously, very similar price action is what we have here as well. I want you to just have a look at this. This is the 4-hour chart, okay? So I've had the Fibonacci retracement right here, okay? And then this pullback ended right at the 50% level. But what I really like most in this type of price action is that, you know, we have this low, we have a lower low. Price then breaks above this structure, okay, and then a lot of people are now thinking that we're continuing higher. And if you get tricked by price action like this, sometimes it is completely normal. All right, but the thing is, we then see another pullback, and so a lot of people have started entering long trades right here, because we've got a break of structure right here. Okay, we then have a pullback, so we're now expecting for price to create, for example, a higher low. Okay, so we're not expecting for price to break below this low, but this is exactly what happens. A strong momentum with another dip in price, and we're now taking out this low. So right here, if you know what is the overall market direction, if you know what is the main direction of the trend, you're not going to get tricked. You're not going to start looking for selling opportunities, okay? Because this is where a lot of people are getting tricked, okay? They think that since we've broken below previous structure or previous low, then that means we're most likely going to continue lower. But that's not the case, because when you know that the main market direction is bullish, then you're not looking for selling opportunities. You're just waiting for a reversal. And so you can see immediately after that, we have a really strong impulse taking price above this high, okay? and on its way to test the previous highs on the 1 hour time frame right here. So what I want to see now is just like with euro dollar, I want to see a little bit of a pullback here, maybe a retest of this previous structure, and then another impulse to the upside. And this is where I'm going to be looking for that potential trade, a long trade. Okay, so how do I delete all of that now? I think I need to switch over to this and do that. Okay, here we go. We don't have the Fibonacci anymore, but that's fine. You know, what we're gonna do now is, if we look at the 1 hour time frame, as soon as we start this pullback right here, we're gonna place another fib retracement. Okay, and as of right now, this is how it looks, and the 38.2 perfectly fits with this previous structure. So let's say down here is where I want to see price next. Okay, something like this. And when it comes to targets, we can grab the targets from the 4 hour time frame again. So let's say, for example, we're going to do this. We have point A, point B, point C, and the next target in this case will be 1.3675. Okay, so from our point of interest right here, we have a potential move of around 170 pips in this case, right? Let's say we're going to be looking at around 50 pips of stop loss, again over 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio on this setup. So really decent trading opportunities we have currently. All we have to do is to patiently wait for our entries. It's very important right now that we do not rush with our trades. And obviously the next one, which is gold. I feel like a lot of you guys are here because of gold, and that is totally understandable. Now, as you can see, we don't yet have this reversal here on gold. We haven't yet seen a bullish momentum like the ones that we have on euro dollar and pound dollar, but I think it's just a matter of time. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that if we're looking at the 1 hour chart right now, we are actually seeing bearish momentum, and this is the moment where we have to try not to get tricked in what price action is telling us, because in order for the market to create such a strong momentum like the one that we have here on euro dollar or pound dollar, it needs to grab liquidity. So it has to go to an area where there's many orders, right? Because the market needs to grab those orders, grab that liquidity, and be able to push in a certain direction. Now, since we know that we are in an uptrend, and I'm definitely not expecting for gold to reverse the trend right now, and that means I'm only looking to buy, well, all I have to do is to wait for a reversal. Now, is it likely that we're going to have that reversal at current price levels? I mean, we could say so, but the thing is, we have this major low right here on the 4 hour time frame. So if you switch over to the 1 hour chart, I mean, we can allow for gold to continue a little bit lower. Okay, so the thing is, we've just taken out all this structure right here, so we have plenty of orders below those levels right here. Okay, and since we have a move to the upside, which started at the level around 3,340, price is now reversed, trading below, you know, this support level. So right now we know that there's plenty of orders right down here. Okay, and the market has already grabbed those orders, but we don't yet have that reversal. So I'm looking at this area right here, and this is where we could potentially see some sort of a reversal. But in order for me to look for entries, I really need to see a strong signal. And when I'm saying a strong signal, what do I mean by that? Well, let's find a really good signaling candle one of those candles were just like this one, for example. Okay, so this is the 4-hour chart, but don't mind that. I mean, all we have to do is to just have a look at this example, right? So we have bullish continuation, okay, price breaking above previous structure right here, coming back, and have a look at the retest. Okay, I moved, let me try and find it again. Let me try and find it again. This one right here. Okay, we have this structure, right? We have higher highs and higher lows, and then price breaks above this support, this resistance level right here, comes back for a retest, and just have a look at this candle. What do we have here? We have a body which is in the upper part of the candle, and we have a strong rejection wick. So that means price is trying to push down, but by the time the 4-hour candle closes, the buyers managed to push price all the way back. Okay, and so that's why you have this strong rejection right here. This is what we're looking for. Now if we get a candle like this on the 1-hour or the 4-hour chart, this is a pretty strong signal. Okay, so considering that we've already taken out this structure, having a candle like this one that we just saw would be a really good signal. Okay, then we're going to be looking for that bullish continuation. But I don't know. Let me know. What do you guys think? Do you currently have any setups? And by the way, because I'm looking at the higher time frames, what does that mean here on the 15-minute chart? Well, on the 15-minute chart, I will have to see a shift in price structure. What does that mean? Well, right now what we have is lower highs and lower lows, right? So at some point, we want to see price taking out a previous high and then forming up a higher low. So this is a shift in structure. So if it will happen right now, we're then going to be looking at this previous high, or the most recent high on the lower time frame. So all we need to see is for price to break above that resistance, okay, then form either a retest and then continue higher, or maybe even form a higher low, higher than this previous one, and then we're going to be looking for that continuation. And right here, this is what we call shift in structure, because the market is basically going from lower lows and lower highs into higher lows and higher highs. So there is really a couple of ways to enter a trade like this. I mean, if you are a swing trader, then that means you're going to be looking for, signal candles like this one right here, but on the higher time frames. And this is why, by the way, we're not taking a single candle as our entry signal on the lower time frames, because if a candle like this occurs on the 1 or the 4-hour chart, you're most likely going to see, kind of a longer term continuation to the upside. But because this is the 15-minute time frame, you can get tricked if you're only looking at a single candle to consider your entry. All right, you can see right here we have a reaction after this candle, but not for too long. Price trades sideways for a couple of more hours and it then drops. Okay, so that's why these signals are not that strong when you look at them on the 15, the 5-minute time frame. Okay, so like I said, there's really a couple of ways to enter a setup like this. If you are a swing trader, you then go over to the 1-hour or the 4-hour chart and you wait for one of those signal candles. Or if you are a day trader, that means you can drop down to 5 to 15-minute time frame, and you can, but I would recommend the 15, and you can then look for shift in structure. Okay, so you really got to be patient, and it really depends on how much time you have during the day. Okay, because if you are a full-time employee for a company and you can't look at your screen all the time, well then maybe looking at the 4-hour time frame would make a lot more sense to you, because you're not going to be able to follow price action on the 15-minute chart, right? right now technically we're still trading above this previous high. So if we get that reversal around current price levels, we're just gonna have consecutive higher highs and higher lows here on the 4-hour chart on gold, which is ideal. I mean, when you're looking at a specific market direction, in this case an uptrend. Let me just lower the light because it's really shining in me. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. When you're looking at a trend, this is what you want to see. You want to see that the trend has enough strength to continue in that specific direction. So in this case, we're looking at an uptrend. Now, in order for this uptrend to remain strong, we want to see price creating consecutive higher highs and higher lows. All right, because if we break below this low, it doesn't mean that I'm immediately going to switch my bias, but it's not going to look ideal. I'm not going to lie. Whereas if we just form a higher low and then we continue higher, I'm going to be a lot more confident that we're going to reach our next target based on the Fibonacci expansion. Okay. Now, when it comes to targets here on gold, obviously, we're going to be looking at 3,390 first and then eventually 3,450 at this previous high. And obviously, I'm also expecting for gold to again create all-time highs. But first things first, we have to wait for that reversal. Okay. But yeah, like I said earlier in the premium Telegram channel, what else we talked about? We talked about dollar yen. So I'm not gonna have a look at it right now. I'm not gonna spend much time on it. But if you are trading the yen pairs, I think before we get entries on euro yen and pound yen, we can potentially look at dollar yen as well. Okay. I'm only talking about the higher time frames though. So anyways, and by the way, what about the yen cross pairs? Well, like I said in the beginning of this session, first I was looking to, to potentially go short, but I wasn't sure whether we're going to break above, previous highs. So I wanted to see what's going to happen with the yen cross pairs. Okay, obviously we had a pretty strong resistance right here, but as you can see, we easily broke above that. So what I actually think right now is, because that makes me switch my bias. Now I know that we're bullish. There's no point to go short when we've just broken above a really strong daily resistance in a pretty quick manner. So I'm actually going to be looking for buying opportunities, but not right now. I want to see price forming a pullback, and this is what we have right now. So hopefully we see price reaching slightly lower levels. Let's say right around 167.50 would make a lot of sense. Okay, now if we drag the Fibonacci retracement across those most recent lows and highs, we have this 61.8 level exactly where we need it. 167.43, let's say roughly around 167.50 to make it a little bit easier. So if we see price pushing down here to retest that previous structure, that may mean we could see a reversal signal back to the upside. Okay, so this is going to give us a really good opportunity to potentially enter a long trade. All right, but the thing is, we have setups on euro yen and pound yen, but we also have setups on euro dollar and pound dollar. So in most cases, I would much rather trade the majors, right? Pairs that are traded against the US dollar. So, if I don't have a good enough setup on euro dollar or pound dollar, then, I may turn to euro yen and pound yen and try and find something there. But I think in this case, I would rather stick to the majors. But anyways, some of you guys I know may not trade euro dollar and pound dollar. I know people that are only trading the yen pairs, including Aussie yen, New Zealand yen, and so on and so on. So in this case, you would, have a look at euro yen, pound yen, and even dollar yen. It says that we have some high impact news here. Oops. So I've already commented on the economic calendar, I believe, last week during maybe the live session that we had on Thursday, but also yesterday in the premium Telegram channel. And to be honest, apart from the power speeches that we have in front of the Congress, there is not much going on. And even right here, I'm still not expecting a lot of movement. It really depends on whether there's going to be, some sort of breaking news. But if there isn't, then, it's nothing to be bothered about. Other than that, GDP on Thursday, right? We'll see how that goes. And then, again, some important news on Friday, mostly for the pound though, GDP for the British pound. So we do have some news this week. I mean, most of the most important news were last week. So this week, I'm really not expecting, uh, something shocking. So that means I'm going to be emphasizing on technical analysis. But this is what you have to do every time you trade. I mean, every time you open up the chart, you just have to kind of mark out your chart, select your zones, you know, mark your target levels, potential stop loss levels, and just wait for price to come into your zone. And it's pretty straightforward. It's just the emotions that get in the way sometimes, right? Now, if that was a few years ago, I would probably enter a trade right now on gold, because I would think that, okay, we have the pullback. It looks like now price has stopped. It's about to reverse. So let me enter a trade. So I would enter a buy trade right here and then place my stop loss down here, which right now it doesn't make any sense. Okay, I haven't seen a reversal signal yet. So why would I enter a long trade? Just because I expect that the market is going to reverse? Well, this is not enough. Okay, technically we're now bearish. We don't yet have a reversal. We don't even yet have a simple signal that tells me price is about to reverse. Now, the good thing about those setups, similar to the one that we have on gold, is what are the pros and cons, and what is the difference in between those setups with euro dollar, pound dollar, and gold. I'm going to start off with gold. So the good thing about this setup is that you will have a better risk to reward ratio, okay, because you basically get a much longer pullback, right? The bad thing is it doesn't really look, I mean, you may lack confidence entering setups like this, because a lot of people would now say, all right, why would I enter a long trade since we are actually bearish? And a lot of people will actually get tricked into thinking that this is a bearish trend and not just a pullback in the main trend. You see the difference? So, but like I said, the advantage of that is that you're going to get a better risk to reward ratio and tighter stop loss in most cases. What about the setups that we have on euro dollar and on pound dollar? Well, with those setups, you're not going to get that good of a risk to reward ratio, but you're going to be a lot more confident that price should continue higher, right? Because you've now seen price breaking above previous structure, okay? And so especially after such a strong impulse, it makes it a little bit more easier to be able to identify what is the market direction. Okay, but like I said, the risk to reward ratio isn't going to be as good as the one on those types of setups. Okay, and I mean, it really depends on what kind of trader you are. You may pick to trade both types of setups, or if you're not feeling comfortable trading setup like the one that we have on gold, then that means you're only trading those setups where you have a clear signal from the market as to what you have to do and in which direction you have to trade, right? Or, of course, if you know how to properly manage your risk, you can take on both setups. Like I said, it really depends on your style as a trader. But I'm not gonna lie, I do like those setups right here. Just because I know a lot of people are getting tricked into thinking that price is most likely going to continue lower. So I know a lot of people are trying to sell. Every time we break below previous structure, even if we are in an uptrend, a lot of people try to sell. And this is what the market needs. The market needs all those orders in order for price to be able to reverse and quickly regain its positions. So this is why a lot of people think that the market kind of knows where their stop loss is. It's not that it knows. I mean, it knows where all that liquidity is. Okay, and if you are a part of the liquidity, yes, you get stopped out most of the time. So always ask yourself, where is the liquidity pool? All right. So in this case, for example, if you take a long trade and you get stopped out, you have to ask yourself, all right, where is the liquidity pool? And then you see this horizontal level right here, and you say, all right, I've got support. Okay, I have equal structure, equal lows right here. Now, what does that mean? It means that people have entered a long trade here. They've entered long trades right here in this area as well. So where do they place their stop losses? Well, their stop losses go right below that equal structure. Okay, this is why I get stopped out. The market needs to grab that liquidity. So now since we are trading within this area, if we see a reversal, then that means we have to re-enter again. Okay, and best case scenario, you didn't enter because you made that analysis beforehand, before entering, before opening that trade. So price is trying to push down. For now we see rejection, but I still feel like we're gonna see this bearish move right here that we're expecting. Now, something else, by the way, something else that I actually shared in the premium telegram earlier today. Since we are expecting to see a bullish continuation on the majors, on euro dollar and pound dollar, in many cases you will see that pound dollar is actually stronger. Okay, there's more momentum in it. Now, if this is going to be the case now, okay, after the pullback and then the continuation higher, then we can actually switch over to euro pound as well and maybe look for selling opportunities. Okay, of course, first we'll need to see that the market is actually, you know, giving us a signal that it's about to go bearish, and then we can start looking for selling opportunities. But the thing is, if we have a bullish price action on euro dollar and pound dollar is moving stronger, there's more momentum in it, then we should see that bearish move on euro pound. Okay, and then again, a lot of people will think that euro has to be bearish and pound has to be bullish. That's not the case. We only need, I mean, they can move in the same direction because they do have a positive correlation, but all we need is one of them to have more momentum. And you can clearly see that when you look at the same time frame on both instruments, you will see which one has more momentum in it. Okay, which one is breaking above previous structure quicker, which one creates bigger impulses. And then once you know that information, and it's usually the pound, okay, you can then switch over to euro pound, and if the euro is stronger, then that means euro pound should be bullish. If the pound is stronger, then that means euro pound should be bearish. So, you also have correlation in between those instruments as well, obviously. When you know what the quote currency is, right, and the base currency. But anyways, this is something else that you can potentially include in your analysis. A lot of people get confused when you are trading euro dollar, pound dollar, and then euro pound. So it's not necessarily you don't have to do it, but if you are looking to add another pair to your watch list, and let's say for example you've got used to trading euro dollar and pound dollar, well then euro pound may be a good pair to add to your watch list in this case. Also, another way to do it is, like I said earlier, if you are usually trading euro dollar and pound dollar, and sometimes you're lacking opportunities, well, then you can have a look at euro yen and pound yen as well. And this is exactly what you see me doing every time during those live sessions. I have euro dollar, pound dollar, of course I have gold, and then euro yen and pound yen. Yeah, not a lot of movement since the beginning of the session at 8 a.m. London time, but hopefully we see a bit more volume coming into the market after this first hour. So right now we see euro dollar and pound dollar pushing down. Not a lot of movement on gold though. It may take a little bit longer for this one to wake up, but then at least this is exactly what we want to see. We want to see price pushing lower right here on euro dollar. I do love this setup, I'm not gonna lie. I just need for price to continue a little bit lower, ideally around 1.1540 is where I want to see price next. And if we have obviously a good reversal signal within this area right here, then this is what I'm going to be looking for. Same thing on pound dollar. Well, I did say in the beginning of the session that I'm not trading crypto, but I do include it in the daily premium analysis every single day, Bitcoin and Ethereum, because we do have members that are trading Bitcoin. But just have a look at the daily time frame. A really nice pullback right here to that 38.2 level. Nearly tapped that level, but basically 98,300 is where that pullback ended. And then we have a really strong daily candle, okay, which is basically yesterday's candle. If you look at the 4-hour chart, we have a really nice momentum. So for now, that confirms that this may be the bottom, and then we're going to see a continuation to the upside. Bitcoin is looking pretty decent. As you can see, we managed to break above some minor structure right here as well. So ideally, for those of you who are trading crypto through leverage, I mean, wait for a bit of a pullback and then look for buying opportunities. There's nothing else that we can do here with Bitcoin. Same thing with Ethereum. We have a 50% retracement if you look at the daily time frame. Okay, so we've taken out all of this structure. When you look to the left, this one right here, okay, so there is a support level, took that out, grabbed all of that liquidity, and then reversed. So I'm expecting to see an upside continuation here. Okay, anyways, now watch out for the 1-hour candles. See how they will close. If they are bearish, that's totally fine. I know we are looking for buying opportunities, but we're also looking for that pullback, right? So observe price action here on euro dollar and pound dollar throughout the whole day. Okay, you know what you need to wait for. Like I said, if we have a good enough reversal within this area, we can then use a stop loss just below that reversal. Okay, but remember, if you are looking for conservative stops, well then at least this previous low right here. Okay, not this one. But anyways, same thing on gold. Do not get tricked. Don't think that you should be looking for selling opportunities. No one is selling gold right now, so all you gotta wait for is for good enough confirmation that tells you exactly when to enter a long trade here on gold. All right, so you're only looking for buying opportunities, nothing else. And again, with the yen cross pairs, you gotta wait for those pullbacks to end here as well. And if you don't prefer trading euro dollar and pound dollar, then maybe you can look for buying opportunities on euro yen and pound yen instead. All right. Don't forget to check out our website trendlineforex.com. Like I said, there is a completely free course for beginners. Now, even if you're currently watching and you're not a beginner, there is maybe someone you know who wants to get into the trading world. Send them this course. All right, it's completely free. All you gotta do is, like I said, just sign up on our website, email and password, nothing else, and then you get full access to the beginners course. Not only that, but we also have more free trainings. All right, So for example, for those of you who are trying to get funded, we have a completely free course on that as well. Okay, somewhere right here, I'm not sure what it is, but you'll find it. Oh, right here, funding, right? So again, all you gotta do is just to sign up, and then you get full access to this course as well. Strategy explained and everything you need to know before starting a challenge. Okay. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. We're doing live sessions just like this one today, twice a week, every Tuesday and every Thursday as well. Okay, there's more content to come out, and follow us on social media. And most importantly, join the free Telegram channel. I think this is going to be in the first link below this stream. And if you're not watching this live, then check out the description below this video. Join the free Telegram channel. Okay, this is where we send out daily updates on euro dollar. Not only that, but also more valuable information. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it right here, guys. Didn't see any questions throughout today's session. I guess everything is clear. But if you want to send me a message, you can DM me. If you join the free Telegram channel, you will see under every single post there's going to be a private message button, so you can click on that, and you can send me a message. We can cover some of the setups that you are currently trading, or if you're struggling with anything regarding trading, I can potentially help with that. So yes, I'll see you in the next session. This is going to be on Thursday, which is 26th of June. We'll see how those setups develop, and whether we have higher levels. If not, then hopefully at least we've got the pullbacks until then, so we can then look for buying opportunities. That's all. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.